Okay guys, I'm gonna make my mother's white pepper southern style breakfast gravy. And I'll be using just a few ingredients: bacon grease, salt and pepper, milk, and flour. The bacon grease is what takes it to the next level. You can use other stuff, but nothing is gonna be as good unless you make it with this bacon grease. However much bacon grease you use about the same amount of flour. It's probably hot enough. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll show you the pasty consistency that you're going to want. It's going to be a roux. I've got my whole milk ready over there and my salt and pepper, and I'm going to go ahead and just start adding some right now to cook. It's to taste, it's to preference. The minimum, I would say a tablespoon of each would be a minimum. But then do it to taste. The first time I made this when I was younger, I did not let this cook long enough. This roux has to cook until it starts changing color, or else your gravy is going to taste like flour. It will be disgusting. So don't make that mistake like I did. So you just keep stirring this. If you need a big batch like we used to have, you're going to want to use probably double. So 8 tablespoons of bacon grease and 8 tablespoons of flour. But I don't need that much. It takes about 5 minutes for it to start changing color. Okay, so it's turning brown, as you can see, and that took about 8 minutes. Next thing you want to do is start pouring in the milk. I pour in a very little bit at first, and then I pour in a little more. And some people I've seen pour it all in at once, but I don't want to chance my gravy being lumpy, and I like to do it this way. Make sure you get the sides really good. Let that cook for a second, and then you add another little more. And by now, the paste is completely dissolved, so I can add the rest of however much milk or gravy I want to make. This is not enough. I'm going to add a little more. But it's up to you. However much gravy you want to make, that's how much milk you want to put in. And I think that's about how much I want to make. I'm going to bring it to a boil. I'm going to add a little more salt. But this is to taste. However much you want, that's how much you use. So I do not use shakers, salt, pepper, spices, powders. I do not shake them over with a shaker because the steam from your food gets up into the bottle of spices and it makes it clump up and harden. So if you've ever had that happen, that's why. It's because of the steam. And even the salt and pepper grinders that you grind over, Those also should not be used over steam because they're made of porcelain and metal, and the steam will get up in there and it will mold and rust, and you do not want that. So the grinders you want to use for a finishing, or grind them into a little container like this and then pour them in. But this is what I always do so that all my powders and spices stay like they should and not clumpy and hard. Okay, so we're gonna let this come to a boil and stir it occasionally, and it'll thicken. When it starts thickening, you'll see that it's thicker, and basically you're done. And the pepper, you can see it in here really good. That's why it's called pepper gravy. So make sure you add enough pepper that you can see it, unless you don't like pepper, but that's the whole point of the gravy. Okay, so you see it's starting to boil now. You want to reduce the heat because you don't want it to burn. And it's going to thicken up real soon here. And so when it thickens, when it's starting to thicken up and it's pretty much done, you can add, if you prefer, you can add some pre-cooked sausage crumbles or Italian sausage, breakfast sausage, whatever you prefer. But I just like the plain pepper gravy that we grew up on. And actually, I'm gonna add a little more pepper. Getting close to being there, but not yet. I'm gonna taste it, see if it needs more salt or pepper. No, I think it's good. I got a fresh spoon. It's definitely getting thicker. Ow, hot. Probably only need another minute or two. This has been boiling and thickening for at least 5 minutes. Another fresh spoon. Well, I'm not touching it, so I'm going to use it again in a minute. It probably needs just a couple more minutes. I would say 10 minutes total. Okay, this is spoon number 4. If you want to see the difference in thickness. It's definitely, even when I shake it down, it doesn't even cover that hole. So I'm going to give it a good stir, but this gravy is done. Gotta have butter. You can't try gravy without a biscuit. Look at that, it's beautiful. Wow, I feel like I'm 10 years old again. Just like Mom used to make. It's so creamy and peppery and delicious, full of flavor. Do you ever notice when someone tries a food on camera, they always shake their head no, even when it's good? like I just did. If you want to see how to make these biscuits, I'll post the link below in the video that I made. Also, a southern recipe from my sister. Gravy recipe from my mom. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. Each time I do a video, I want to show something retro from my kitchen. Here I have a Pyrex bowl from the 60s or 70s. And I also have one up here that was made in England, which I love. Pyrex from England. And one really cool thing I have here is this measuring glass. It's from Frigidaire. And it's got all the colors on it that they had their appliances in the 50s. So this measuring glass is from the 50s. I'll show you more stuff later.